Hello and welcome to the introduction video of the LYNX Technik FlexGUI software. My name is James Merchant and I'm going to guide you through this video. Over the course of time, the complexity of the LYNX Technik Series 5000 modular equipment increased quite significantly. Taking this into consideration, the necessity for an intuitive control software to configure and monitor the devices became imperative. To achieve this, we started from the ground up and designed the control software to fit the natural instinct and thought process, as well as the idea that a picture is worth 1,000 words. The outcome is the APPolo FlexGUI. On the left-hand side of the software, you'll find the device tree. This will show all the Series 5000 modules that are connected to the system. If I select one of these modules, the right-hand side of the software will show a functional diagram. On the one hand, this will give a nice overview regarding the functionality of the module, but at the same time it will show all the signal paths within the module. As you can see with this example, which is one of our most complex modules, the sheer volume of signal paths can be quite overwhelming at first. Nevertheless, they are very important to show. This is exactly why we implemented a tool which we call path highlighting. This will help to visually emphasize the signal paths that you are interested in. It's nothing complicated with hidden keyboard shortcuts or anything like that. As a matter of fact, it's just a case of hovering over the signal path in question. The nice thing is, this is actually in relation to where your mouse pointer is. At the moment, I'm hovering over the SDI input number 1, and it will show all the paths leading from the SDI input number 1. If I hover over the output number 1, it will show where all the signal paths are coming from that are leading to the SDI output number 1. This functional diagram is much more than just a nice overview and path highlighting tool. As a matter of fact, it is the actual setup area of the module. Let's take video switching, for example. If somebody told you to perform a video switch within this functional diagram, the most natural thing would actually be to drag and drop one of those signal paths from one source to the next. And that's how we implemented it. Just hover over a switchable line and a round handle will appear indicating that you can switch this line. If you press and hold the left mouse button, you grab the line and auras will merge around the possible switching positions. If you now move the handle towards one of these auras, at some point it will snap into position. The only thing left to do is to let go of the mouse button and your switch is complete. The other nice thing about actually moving the signal path is that the functional diagram at all times clearly represents how the signals are routed within the module. The functional diagram consists of processing blocks. Obviously, these have settings that need to be accessed. In other words, we want to have a closer look into that processing block. To do that, simply double-click onto the desired processing block, and the FlexGUI will zoom into that exact position and will unveil the underlying controls. As you can see, my mouse pointer is dynamic. In other words, if I'm hovering over a control, I'm in control mode and can set the parameters, and if I'm next to it, I'm in pan mode. So in other words, if I press and hold my left mouse button, I can now pan within that big functional diagram. Sometimes, however, the controls are very dense, so it is very difficult to hit the pan mode. That's why if you press and hold the space bar, you are continuously in pan mode. If you want to zoom out again, simply double-click anywhere outside of the processing block and it will take you back to the full view. The other ways of zooming in and out of the functional diagram is by using the mouse wheel, so you can zoom out and you can zoom in again, or you can use this navigation tool at the top left of the FlexGUI. The concept for audio switching is exactly the same as for video switching. In other words, just hover over the line, grab the handle and drag it to the required source. Now, some of the audio crossbars actually have an underlying mono crossbar. On first sight, it will behave exactly the same way as any other stereo crossbar. So in other words, if you grab, drag and drop, it will perform a stereo switch. To access the mono controls is really simple. Actually, it's virtually the same. The only difference is, instead of hovering and grabbing immediately, you hover and wait for a second. And as you can see, two additional handles have appeared, one for left and one for right channel. So if I click to the right channel, you will see that the mono channels are now dotted lines and color-coded, black for left and red for right. The actual switching will work exactly the same as all the other switching. Just drag it to the required source, let it go, and the switch is complete. And as you can see, now that I've done a mono switch, the lines stay color-coded and dotted to clearly indicate in this functional diagram that the mono switch has been performed. Okay, that's all for now. These few but very simple controls are all that you require to set up your Series 5000 modular equipment. If you want, you can also test drive the FlexGUI without having any modules connected. Just go onto our homepage, download the software and install it on your PC. Under the menu View, you will find an entry called Device Simulation. Activate that and the software will simulate all the current modules from our product portfolio. Select the module you want to check out and off you go. Thank you for watching and hope to see you soon.